Hello, this is saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is A Conversation in Jazz, where we are promoting jazz through telling the stories. Our guest today is the lovely jazz vocalist and educator, Miss Lori Williams. We ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so we can let you know when we are posting another video or going live. We also ask you to donate to our Cash App in order to support the channel and help us to produce future videos. Our Cash App is $Jazzology101. That's $Jazzology101. Enjoy the video. Hi, I'm saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is A Conversation in Jazz. Our guest today is an internationally acclaimed jazz vocalist who's not only a dynamic performing artist, but she's also a singer-songwriter, music educator, producer, musical theater actress, radio voice announcer, and business owner with over 30 years of experience. She has worked with many notable artists as lead, background, studio session, and guest vocalist, including Oleta Adams, Yolanda Adams, Eric Benet, The Blackbirds, Jonathan Butler, Will Downey, George Duke, and many more. Please welcome my good friend, the lovely vocalist, Miss Lori Williams.
And Antonio Parker. Right.
How you doing, Lori?
I'm good.
Long time no see.
It's been a minute. I know, right? I was thinking about this. I said, we would do, what's that club we used to do that's no longer?
It was the HR 57?
HR 57.
Yeah,
Those were some good days,
some things,
right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few things. Yeah, but I was looking, doing some background, getting some background information. You've done a lot of things.
Man,
yeah,
right?
So we're gonna
I was
talk
getting
about some
tired.
of
I'm like,
stuff.
okay, how much more are you going to read? That's God, though. That's nothing but God.
Yes, no doubt. Anyway, welcome to A Conversation in Jazz.
Thank you so much for having me.
And what we do here is we get to know a little bit more about you, what you do, and how you arrived to where you are.
All right.
I call it learning the story behind the story.
It's easy because I'm talking to you, so it's cool.
Gotcha.
Right.
My first question is, who is Lori Williams?
I'm still trying to find out. I'm for real, man. Wow. So I'm a mom.
Yes.
That's, I got my son here. He's hanging this summer with his dad. So I had to go and pick him up so he could check this out and meet you.
Yep.
And my daughter, Lauren, she's in Decatur, and she does her own thing. She goes by Lavahi, LAVAHI.me. Check her out. That's what I do foremost. I'm a mom. I'm a teacher, and so I still teach, even though I'm no longer at Wilson. I'm doing private music, and I love it. I love it. I can kind of control my lesson plans and how I do it, and it's really cool. I'm a performer and travel all over the world. Recording artist, So I'm God's child. So I'm just blessed. I'm here trying to figure it out, trying to figure this life out.
And you've been doing it for a long time.
Man, right?
And I'm really proud of you because I've seen your let's say elevation.
Yeah,
I've seen you come from I was
it's a hustle.
Yeah. to doing your thing.
Right.
So I'm very proud of you. I'm going to congratulate you on all your success.
Thank you.
And keep doing it.
Thank you.
And don't let nothing stop you.
Nothing.
You did?
Right. I did, for real.
I tell you, this music thing can be tough. And just life, life can be like
but that's where we get our stories from to tell and to share from those life experiences, which is really cool, right?
And we're going to talk about some of your recordings. I noticed that you put some of these things in your recordings.
I sure did.
So
I'm the Taylor Swift of jazz.
Yeah. So,
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, where are you originally from?
I'm Southeast DC.
You from Southeast DC?
And I can't say the way that, my mother was an English teacher. And that was not allowed. So I'm from Southeast.
Southeast, okay.
Absolutely. Washington, D.C. now. Southeast all day long, yeah.
Now, For those who don't know, when I got to town, Southeast was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. It was.
so-
I mean, I'll tell a war story. We moved to Fort Washington, Maryland, when we had a plumber come to the house and he got shot outside our house. So yeah, I lived.
Really?
Yeah, I lived right off. I was near Ballou, back in the day, and off of Martin Luther King Avenue. So I was I went to Bernie Elementary School
Really?
in Anacostia, Berry Farms. Yeah.
So let me ask you, you got a ghetto side?
So my name would be called Tori, if that's the alter ego. Yeah, we all got a little.
Don't let the smile fool you.
Come on, man. Don't let it come out. What?
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm very refined, and that's to
that's
to
all
my
good.
mom. I give all that credit to her for her upbringing.
Yeah, no doubt. And I've learned that having the little hood in you,
Come
wherever
on.
you go in the world,
Right.
you kind of your instincts.
It pays
Yeah,
off
yeah,
big time
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, don't play with me, right? What?
But what was it like growing up during the time you were coming up in D.C.?
It was different. I'm gonna say it was beautiful. We talked about community a little bit. We had community. Your neighbors, you knew everybody.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything out of order
Yeah.
because somebody, Emma Rogers next door or whoever's down
Yeah.
the street, they knew. And I had 2 older sisters, and they looked out for me. So
Okay.
it was really beautiful. We were really involved in the church, and that's where the music came
Gotcha.
in. So yeah,
So you the baby?
I'm the yes.
So were you spoiled?
Yes. And no doubt about it. They
ain't
know
nothing wrong with it.
and still own it.
Hey, I'm the oldest, so I don't know what that's
Hey,
like.
sorry. Not sorry, but yes, yeah.
Oh boy. Now, did you grow up? What kind of music were you listening to?
In my parents' home, gospel music.
Gotcha.
But when I would step out,
Yeah.
I was Joan Jett, Grace Jones.
Wow.
I mean, I was doing Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie
Okay.
Wonder,
Gotcha.
Whitney
Yeah.
Houston,
Yeah.
Anita when I got to college. Yeah, so.
Now, DC is known for go-go.
Oh, so that was when I got to Oxon Hill, for sure. I was into that. Yeah.
Okay. You used to go to go-go clubs?
I did not go to the go-go clubs.
Okay.
My parents, Deacon and Deaconess Williams, God rest their souls.
Oh, God.
No, I did
Gotcha,
not.
gotcha.
But I did a little sneaking out and did some stuff that I wasn't supposed to.
I understand.
Hit the classics and those type of places.
yeah.
But yeah, More's Love and Peace when I got a little older, and but that was when jazz was really part of my life. Yeah.
No doubt. Do you come from a musical family?
Yes, absolutely. Everybody sings in the family.
Really?
My mother played piano, and we
Wow.
always had a piano in the house. Matter of fact, in my home in Georgia, I have my mom's piano.
Okay.
So,
So you said you had 2 sisters.
I have 2 sisters, Robin and Vanessa.
sing?
Yes, and Vanessa Williams is a gospel recording artist.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's my sister. Yeah, she sings with Richard Smallwood.
Get out of here. Wow.
Yeah.
I asked that question because I think that music, something gets passed down genetically.
I believe it.
Musically. I've noticed that people
in the DNA.
whose
sure.
parents or who have music around, they just have an affinity for music.
We had the hymnals in the house.
Yeah.
You had to, we sight read before we even knew what sight reading was all about. You know what I mean? So
Really?
Yeah, my sister would sing soprano, might do the tenor or the alto. We'd read those
Get
lines.
outta here.
Yeah. So it was a challenge. We'd sit at church and try to sing next, hear each other with the harmonies. Yeah, it was beautiful. And our timbres are very aligned.
Yeah, because I know your ears are great.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
notice
cool.
every time I say, well, she hears it, and was that
It's upbringing, yeah.
Really?
It was second nature. Even with education, it's second nature because my mother, God rest her soul, she was a retired English teacher, English and humanities. So we watched her do her lesson plan. She brought her work home. Now, I was not as, I'll say I was not as dedicated as she was because she did it so meticulously. I think the second nature I took for granted because we knew how to do the lesson plans. We helped her out. We put the bulletin boards up and we decorated her classrooms and those types of things, yeah.
So your parents really supported the music?
I would say how can I say it? I think that they supported the idea of us singing, but my parents always wanted us to have something to fall back on. Thus, going to college for communications, mass media arts. No, they wanted the money to flow. My father would have wanted me to have that good government job.
Gotcha.
Because he was working, downtown and.
Yeah, I understand that.
No.
But when it's in you, it's in you.
But for me as a mother, because I've seen that progression, Like with my son, he's an artist, and he loves to draw every day. He's nonstop drawing.
Wow,
that's
beautiful.
his passion. Of course, he plays trumpet, and he's got perfect pitch, but he doesn't want to sing, and so you can't force it on him. Whereas with my daughter, she went to school for English, and her doctorate is in English as well. But what does she do? She gigs.
Who is in English?
Her doctorate. She's working on her doctorate.
Wow.
Yeah.
The little girl.
Man, come on now.
Wow.
I have a grown child.
Wow.
Yeah. And
How time flies.
Yeah, my daughter will be 30. He'll be 15. So, that big difference. But for her right now, I think her passion is with performance. And so she's performing.
Wow.
So it's like, you do what you
And you and I are both
passion.
educators.
Yeah.
And I would tell kids, because when I was, the day I got my saxophone, I was in 5th grade, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, there was nothing more I wanted to do than sing.
And I used to draw. I had a talent for drawing, and I loved drawing.
Yeah.
And but the music, I mean, like the moment I got, it was like yeah,
Right.
and it guided my life and the trajectory of my life. So music, I just was chasing music.
Yeah, that's true. Chasing it. I'm chasing this dream, and I believe that if I stay aligned with God, He'll make room for me wherever I need to go.
Oh, you already in the room?
Yeah, man. But there's some bigger rooms.
No doubt.
We still gotta aspire for more. Yeah.
Well, that's the nature of it, because you get to this level, and then you start seeing other levels, and then you say,
and
but
you can't forget. You got to bring people along with you.
oh, no doubt.
Don't forget.
And then some people can't come with you. You did.
You said it.
Some people can't come with you.
Right.
And so and that's a part of it too.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, wow. But the music is which stays with you.
Yeah, and that's our story. It's archival.
Yeah.
Regardless to how it comes, it's our story. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes. And I was going to ask you, were you born with a voice, or were you trained to sing?
I would say it's a gift of God.
Gift of God. Yeah.
Now, the training, yes. Charlotte Holloman was one of my teachers.
I know Miss Holloman. Yeah.
God rest her soul.
Yes,
she was
I knew Miss
tough.
Holloman. Yeah.
Man, tough cookie. And then, of course, at Hampton, I had some beautiful professors. Dr. Effie Gardner.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some.
And Bob Ransom. God rest his soul.
But as a kid,
No,
as
it
a
was in
kid,
the house.
you were just singing.
No, we sang.
You didn't have private lessons in it.
My dad whistled in the house every day. I heard music from them singing in the house. And
So how'd you develop your range and
like I said, it's my family.
Really? Wow.
2 sisters and 2 parents who sang all the
So
time.
you just did it?
Yeah, we did it. I was in angelic voices at Bethlehem Baptist Church. I think at 3. And so I remember just being in the choir, and you hear it.
Yeah.
That becomes second nature.
Wow. Did you play any other instruments?
Piano, and I studied that at home.
Okay.
And
You took piano lessons?
I took lessons. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't treat them like I should have.
I got you. But it still comes in handy. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you write and all that.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Now you said your son has perfect pitch.
Yeah, my daughter too.
Really?
Yeah, I have relative.
I was going to ask you that.
No.
It gets passed down then.
Come on, man. That thing
Yeah.
is funny because I'm like, I say to him, he's in the audience, I say to him, I wish he could really appreciate that gift. That's a gift.
Yeah, I wish I had
That
it.
talent is crazy, right?
I wish I had it. I'm telling you. I tell people I found a 2nd grader that had it.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and he didn't even know he had it until I discovered it for him.
Amazing
Yeah,
gifts.
and so it's like, wow. And I'm asking him, how'd you do that?
Right. For real.
And you mentioned that you sang in a church.
From as far back as I can remember.
Now, what things did you, in terms of singing, that can you attribute to singing in a church?
The feel and the soul, I think that's part of it. And I directed choirs. So,
Wow.
Yeah, I directed Angelic Voices to the Young Adult Choir, to Fort Foot Baptist Church's choir, to choirs in Japan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that part of me, I loved studying the choral parts of the music and taking it back to the choir. So that part of directing I love. So I enjoyed that part of it, that aspect.
So when you ever sing, I know people, they sing and they get so intense and emotional that you want to cry.
Yeah,
Can you contain that?
Sometimes and sometimes not. Yeah, it depends on where I am. I mean, I've had students sing to me and it touches me so that I'm just like, okay, now you starting something.
Yeah,
here, you know?
yeah. So you have to, as a singer, And it could be a lyric that
Yeah, I don't try to contain it.
you don't. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Not at all.
I'm a real teddy bear, man. I think.
No, I think that's the beauty of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be, like you said, a lyric, or somebody might sing a song and that note just resonates so it just touches that nerve, you know. So that's what happens.
Doubt.
Yeah,
Did you also play sing in school?
I did. I was in the choirs. I didn't play.
Okay.
I should have, but I didn't.
Which schools did you go to school in D.C. or?
I went to Bernie Elementary.
Okay.
And then I went to St. Thomas More, and that's when I sang in my first talent show.
Wow.
When I was in elementary school. I think I was third or fourth grade. And then I went to Oxon Hill Middle, and then I went to Oxon Hill High.
Wow. Beautiful.
So I was in a group in Oxon Hill High called Malika, and it was a popular, we didn't call it pop music back then, but they played popular music. And that's where I got my bug. People like Anthony Wellington, who plays with Victor Wooten, he was in the band, he was bass player. Delmarie Hines, who has connections with Prince, was in the band. Caroline Benzon, who I think is in L.A., she was in the band. Michelle Indigeo-Cello was in the band.
Okay.
Michelle Johnson back in the day. Her brother Jock Johnson, who plays around
Guitar.
town, he was in the band.
Wow.
So yeah, the band was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we had Earl Spike Jenkins, and I mean, the band was killer.
Wow.
And I think back then I I used to want to be a student at Duke Ellington, but when I was in Malika, that was like it was like our fame.
Gotcha. Beautiful. So did you know? I mean, at what point did you know? I know you didn't want your parents to know this. Well, at what point did you know this is what I want to do?
Probably when I went to Oxon Hill and started singing. I mean, I did a talent show, Oxon Hill Middle.
High school, middle school?
Middle school, but high school, because people were like, giving you the accolades and oh my gosh, and so like I could really do something with this thing,
So you had to keep that from your parents?
Yeah, then they came to one of our performances, and I sang Grace Jones's "Pull Up to My Bumper Baby," and that was not the best song to sing for your for your deacon and deaconess mama and daddy,
Yeah, no doubt.
but the crowd loved it.
Wow.
And so hearing the response from the crowd, I was like, okay. Then when I went to Hampton, it was a no-brainer, you know.
Gotcha. We're gonna talk about Hampton, and but I want to get this early stuff out the way.
Yeah. I knew.
Was there any teachers like in your before college?
There were, but I will say this about I had a teacher who made me want to be the teacher who I am today, in a weird way, because the words that were shared to me were not uplifting and encouraging. Even though she recognized my gift, I think because I didn't follow her path that she wanted me to do, there were some things that made me feel kind of bad about myself. And so as a teacher now, I try to impart words of wisdom and uplift and encouragement to the students so that they know that they can do whatever they want to do if they put
so
their
you
minds
took a
to it.
negative
Sure
and turned
did.
it into
Absolutely,
a positive. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. Yeah.
It was a rough start, but when I got to Hampton, things changed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So music came easy for you, though. You think
It did, but it's hard now.
Yeah, no doubt. You say now?
Yeah, it's hard now because you have to know so much about it. It's not the gift is there, but you got to practice it and you got to understand it.
Yeah.
And you have to cherish
What
it.
is your work ethic in terms of practicing and cultivating your talent?
Trying to learn all I can about theory. That's really what it is. I mean, right now it's like, okay, I sang that and I try to hear those intervals and then I try to align it and try to figure out, okay, how can I apply this to something else? And it's a lot. Breath support. I mean, I'm looking at videos on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube.
Yeah, but you have an intrinsic work ethic that's kind of...
Yeah, because when I'm teaching, I always say to my students, in order to have a good student, you have to be a good teacher. And in order to be a good teacher, you have to have good students. So we have to work together, you know? So I'm still learning.
Okay.
I'm still learning.
Oh, you doing something right.
But that's God's unexpected blessings, though, for real.
Now, what kind of music did you initially want to sing? Did you want to be a gospel artist?
I started out, but then my sister was so good at it.
Okay.
That I know how to stay in my lane.
Gotcha.
You know? And so when I found jazz, that was just like, okay, this is for me. But I really wanted to do like the Whitney Houston when I started off. Anita Baker. I would
Oh,
always.
yeah.
I did talent shows and competitions, and I would always pull a Sweet Love or you give good love and in a heartbeat.
But that's unique about you because you can go in these little different
little
genres
pockets,
and be real in them. Each like
right.
jazz and like
I did a musical that was bluegrass related, and
Really?
crazy, right?
Yeah,
Bluegrass?
yeah.
When it calls, hey, do what you can.
Yeah. So that's good. Do you remember when you first heard jazz?
Yeah. Intensely at Hampton University.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man. And I went to go hear Connie Parker, and I don't remember the club. I thought I was grown, because you're after 18, you could have a little sip. And this woman was singing with this trio, and I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, that's what I want to do. So then I got into a group at Hampton. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'm fast forwarding. I was the jazz program director for my college radio station.
Yeah.
WHOV-FM.
Yeah.
And I had to play those albums, those records.
So so it was at college
At
that
college,
you really
I fell in love. I mean, fell deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about Hampton. Okay, so you went to Hampton, right?
That's right.
HU?
The other HU.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Look, I'm going to tell you
I went to
this.
Howard University.
Look, it's all one love. Look,
I was just going to ask
so
you.
many people who are my friends. HU.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, what's the real HU? Now, would the real HU please stand up?
I would say wherever you got your degree.
Yeah, no doubt. No, it's all good.
I mean, my family's from both of those HUs,
Gotcha.
both blue and white.
Yep, yep.
And we I was there when it was Hampton Institute, so that shows how old I am.
Okay.
But Hampton Institute University. But yeah, it's all love.
What made you choose Hampton?
That was the only place I looked at, and the only place I wanted to go. I went on that campus. There's no campus finer.
Really?
That waterfront is just, and then the people were just so welcoming.
I mean, you open the book and Hampton.
That was it. I knew it. I went there.
Okay,
And,
so you visited?
I visited.
In high school?
Yeah, I was like, that's it.
Okay. I had the similar experience.
I didn't choose any other place. The distance was just enough for my parents not to get in the car and be around the corner.
Yeah.
And
I had similar experience.
the cues were so beautiful at the time. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah, okay.
They
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
on
yeah,
a
yeah.
little somebody.
Yeah, I
I was
got
like,
you. Yeah.
that's where I need to go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, what was just the overall experience like at Hampton?
If I could go back in time, I would go back to that moment.
Wow.
Those 4 years at Hampton, unlike any other. That's when you find yourself in college,
doubt. Yeah.
And I was free to
And that's
discover
a HBCU.
Yeah, historically black college
And you
university.
get some little consciousness. You get a little learn about. You get all that.
You think you're awake. You think that you're woke.
Yeah.
Nah, not until you go there
Yeah.
and you see what's happening. Those protests and, I was a part of the student leadership program and
Oh, beautiful.
and like I said, the radio station, and found my love with my fraternity brothers and sorority sisters, and
And what sorority are you?
Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Of course, I'm
Yes.
sporting a little bit.
You know Michelle.
Of course,
my former wife.
yes.
She's Delta too.
Yeah. Deltas are beautiful people, So
Yeah. It's all good.
It's all good. No matter what kind of package we come in,
Yeah.
we're
It's all good.
Mhm.
Now, I read, and I think you mentioned these professors. Is that F.A. Gardner?
Effie Gardner.
Effie Gardner.
Do you know Derek Gardner?
The trombone player?
Trumpeter.
Trumpeter?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his mama. And then the trombonist is Vincent.
Okay.
Mama. That's their mama.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think Vincent works with Marcellus's group.
Uh-huh.
And Derek was a professor. And
Okay. And who's Robert Ransom?
oh, God rest his spirit. He passed. Bob Ransom was like my dad away from home.
Gotcha.
And
They had an impact on you?
huge.
How so?
They immersed jazz into my life. I was a part of their classes, and they had a vocal jazz group called Jazz, J-Z-A-Z-Z, and I auditioned, got a part of that, and We sang. It was almost like the a cappella Take Six back in the day, you know.
Really?
And then we had the combo behind us.
Yeah.
It was sweet. And if it had happened now, the group, you know, was so incredible. And
Yeah.
incredible musicians, incredible vocalists. So yeah, that bug was big.
Okay. Now what was your major?
Interestingly enough, mass media arts communication, because those parents of mine would not allow me to do music, but I studied as much as I could for my extra credits, and that's how I was able to use those credits from, you know,
Yeah.
music theory, music history, all of that.
But to me, as you have become an independent artist, all that mass communication, all that.
I use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's all part of the thing, you know.
Right. And I went to UDC for some credits and studied. Thank God for Judy Corey and for Alan
Johnson.
Alan Johnson. AJ is, you know, they were really helpful to me.
Yeah.
When I went over there. So, you know, AJ was a big impact when I got to UDC, and you know.
What years were you at UDC?
I went post.
Huh?
I went post.
Okay,
post
gotcha.
Hampton. I wasn't there when you guys, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I went there for a couple years, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I studied when I was teaching because I had to.
Gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
I needed, and if I could, I still have in my heart to go back to school to get something in music, but thank God for life skills.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Now, you're on campus. You told me you got introduced to jazz.
Yeah.
Now you said you worked on radio.
Yeah. HOV, WHOV.
WHOV FM.
Right.
Okay. Now, was there as you start immersing yourself in the music, was there a particular jazz artist that resonated with you?
Always, you know this. Diane Reeves.
Ooh,
of course.
Yes.
Diane Reeves would be like if I could have a godmother, auntie, big sister, you know, all of that rolled into one. She is it.
Yeah.
She's my mentor.
Yeah.
And has been since 1986.
Is that when she come out with the grandma song?
Probably, you know.
Have you ever sang that song? I can see.
You know, I've never done that
I
one.
can hear you singing.
I've never done that one.
Yeah.
No. But I love her energy.
Yeah.
And she's a cool person. I mean, she reaches out. You'll see a sneak peek of her in my upcoming video.
Oh wow, beautiful. Oh, so you all up in the connect.
I'm blessed like that.
Wow.
That's real, true blessing, right?
No doubt. Also, when you were at college, is that when you performed at the Showtime at the Apollo?
Yeah, you did some research? Yes. So the story behind me doing Showtime, I had my fraternity brothers. You know, they paid my way to get to New York. And Moses Edinburgh, I got to give a shout out to his name because that's where I ended up. He took me there to the place where the Apollo, the famous Apollo, rubbing that rock and the whole thing. And I sang "Summertime." I didn't get booed, and thank God for that.
Yeah. So
and when I came back, was I nervous? When I came back to Hampton, they threw a party for me, and
really,
yeah, it was really cool. They did a watch.
Yeah.
You know.
So you saw the Sandman and all the people.
I saw everybody, but they didn't come for me, so that was
Gotcha.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Did
Rick Aviles. It's actually on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, Rick Aviles is he was the host at the time.
Okay.
Lisa and Cult Jam and also Brenda Russell were on that show.
Really?
And she sang "Get Here."
Oh man, I gotta check that out.
Right? Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Did you rub the
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
A little nervous, little skinny thing with braces and big glasses. Yeah.
I'm gonna look for that.
It's there. I'm gonna show it to you.
Yeah.
For real.
Okay. Now, did you go to graduate school?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
But you did mention that
My daughter went to graduate. She went to Hampton. She went to get her graduate and now her master's. The whole thing. She's working on a doctorate. Yeah.
But you also went to Trinity?
I went to Trinity because in order to be an efficient, excellent teacher, you need to have those credits, right?
Yeah.
So I had to do all of that
Gotcha.
to prep for teaching, and that was how many years ago? Good Lord, I've been teaching for a long time.
And we're gonna talk about the teaching part of your career.
Yeah.
I read that you lived in Japan in the early 90s.
Hi.
What was that like?
Man, that was another world.
Wow.
So in another life, I was married
Okay.
to my daughter's dad, and we lived there. And I thought I was going to work at Capitol Records EMI. I had already had the interview on the phone with Hitoshi Namikata, and then I get there, and the question was, "Do you speak Japanese?" And I said, "No." Click. That was the end of that.
Wow.
So I had to work at the Dodd school system, and I kind of immersed myself teaching, and then I taught in the home.
Okay.
ESL.
How long did you live in
5 years.
Wow, you were in Japan for 5 years.
Yeah.
Did you learn any Japanese?
Skoshine.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to get by, and of course, because if you don't use it, it leaves you.
No
But I have some lasting friendships from my time in Japan. I directed at Sagamihara Christian Fellowship. I was their gospel choir director, and I did some workshops with Walter Hawkins and Tremaine Hawkins while I was over there. My daughter was born in Yokosuka, so yeah.
Wow.
I lived on the economy in Minami Rinken, and then we lived on the base in Natsugi.
Okay. I didn't know this stuff.
Yeah, man, I was there. Of course, I would love to go back and take my children there so my daughter could see where she was born.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it yet, but hopefully I'll get a chance to perform there.
Actually been to Japan with Chuck Brown.
Hey!
Yeah,
I
little bitty.
performed in Tokyo with Ellie Saito and the Love Tambourines. And so I did some gigging while I was there.
Wow.
And they treat us like royalty,
Wow.
in the performance side.
And I wanted to ask y'all, do you remember your first gig, jazz gig?
No, I really don't. Well, you know what? I'll take it back. My first professional jazz gig was probably with the band Collaboration.
Okay, we're going to talk about collaboration.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's after
that's
Japan?
That's
and all,
after everything, yeah. Came back to D.C. And we did Capitol Jazz Festival. I think that was my biggest gig.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Cap Jazz Fest.
Gotcha.
Opening up for Debbie Kirkland.
I think I might have
You
been
played on that gig?
Yeah.
Man, that was like my biggest one.
I remember that. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was at where the location is now. I think it was it Meriwether Post?
It could have been, or
I don't know. It was something
what's that
different.
place on 16th Street?
Man, but it was that was like my biggest gig.
Yeah, because I was playing with Debbie around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But prior to that, gigging, at Moore's Love and Peace with the guys.
So you wasn't gigging? You didn't have any gigs in Hampton?
I had gigs, but they were, open mics and those types of things.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was just trying to get
Getting
some
your feet
money
wet
and make,
no
win. Can I win $100?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
At what point did you decide, okay, I want to go into education?
It happened in a weird way when I came back from Japan. My mother was the one who said, I know someone downtown, and you'd be great with this. And so she called Tommy Cosley, and she's passed on as well, and got me an interview. It was a different procedure for getting into being a teacher than it is now.
Yeah.
Of course, I took the praxis and all that kind of good stuff. But I sat in front of master educators. I'm trying to think some of the names, like Yvonne Holt and Pam. What's Pam's last name? Alexander. And they sat me down. It was a row of old heads.
Yeah.
I had to do a lesson plan. I had to sight read. I had to play. I think it was America the Beautiful or something like that, and engage. And that was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was like pass, go, that kind of thing. And they gave me the stamp. And I'm grateful, really, to Yvette and Yvonne Holt. Is Yvonne Holt or Yvette Holt? Yvette Holt and Pamela Alexander.
Yeah.
Miss Holt and Miss Alexander, because they welcomed me and they saw something within me. Had it not been for those two ladies saying yes,
Gotcha.
and my mother and Miss Cosley, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Wow.
In that, I wouldn't, and now years later, award-winning, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I owe it to these people.
No doubt. Yep.
No doubt about it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, when you started teaching, were you teaching on the elementary level?
Yes, I taught my babies. And I chose kindergarten because my daughter was, I think in first grade, and I taught a kindergarten class at Thompson Elementary.
Okay.
Under Mr. Bracey, who was the principal. And I did the full year, and I knew that there were specials like, art and music, but I did everything in my classroom.
You were a classroom teacher?
I was a teacher, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I chose not to send them, which was not what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to say, okay, for your class, you can get a break. I didn't know what that meant because I wanted them to be with me for the whole day.
Really?
So I didn't send my kids out unless it was like,
I would have loved you.
no, man. I wanted my baby. I wanted them. So I kept my kindergartners with me for most of the day. Now, there was a teacher at Thompson who I would send them to periodically because she was an excellent art teacher. But with music, I'm like, I could do it in my classroom. I'm good. And so I developed my own program and like reading and my lesson plans and everything. So they were with me the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the next year, there was a music teacher who was rotating, and the principal said she wasn't going to be able to do it anymore. And he said, we have a position here for a music teacher. You want to try it? I was like, yeah. So then I became the school's music teacher.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story.
K through 5, or I think it was.
And we teach the whole.
Teach them all. Yeah.
Wow. That's
And then when I got to Wilson, some of those kids who I taught at Thompson
get out of here. Come on.
were in my choir.
From kindergarten.
Kindergarten, my babies. Yep. I put
Are
on
you
talent
serious?
shows and everything, and I was developing a whole lot. That's how I got collaboration back into the fold, because they came and they did one of my shows. It was crazy.
Remember I told you I had this kid that had perfect pitch?
Yeah.
His name was Timothy Wiggins.
Okay.
And Michelle was teaching, what's the school across from Wilson?
Oh,
The middle
Deal.
School. Deal. She was at Deal.
Uh-huh.
And
He was
Timothy
there?
ended up going to Deal.
He was perfect for her.
Yeah, and I said, do you know Timothy Wiggins? She said he is amazing.
Uh-huh.
It's funny how this thing
It's
works.
amazing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so some of my they would call me Ma.
Yeah.
No disrespect to their parents, but they knew me.
So you went right from elementary to high school?
I went from elementary to Best Friends Foundation. Elementary, Best Friends Foundation. High school, Best Friends Foundation.
Okay. What's Best
It was a
Friends
nonprofit organization
Okay.
where I was the jazz choir director for their
Okay.
national program.
Were you still teaching doing that?
No, it was full time.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I was traveling the United States, working on teaching choir, vocal jazz choir.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
We were the first non-professional group to sing for the inauguration of George Bush #2
Oh, wow.
on the steps of the Lincoln
Wow.
Memorial. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So, then you decided to come back into the classroom,
I came back to high school. Yeah,
high school.
yeah.
Why didn't you go back to elementary?
No, something said. Well, here's the deal. Kenny Dickerson from Collaboration
Yeah.
was the assistant principal at Wilson. They needed a teacher,
Gotcha.
and it wasn't in music. It was in life skills and transition and communication, and I had the background for that. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I can do this, and so I did that for a year, and then their music teacher went AWOL. Ain't this something? So this
God
guy,
has really been.
this guy stepped out for some reason and left, and then the principal asked me to. He went AWOL right before graduation. So the principal and Kenny said to me that, can I come in? And I'm like, yeah, I can come in and work with the choir. I ended up working with the choir and then the entire senior class. And we did a full-out show for their graduation. I sang, and then, we did Stevie Wonder's dun 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 dun. People keep on tune.
The higher?
Higher Ground.
Higher,
We did Higher Ground, and this is what happened with old age, y'all. When, and the principal got up and said, "This is our new music teacher for next year." I had, had never had the interview. This was me coming in helping out, and that's how I got the gig.
Wow. Does these type of experiences strengthen your faith?
Come on, I say this. God, be ready for God's unexpected blessings because you never know. Just you have to be faithful.
Wow.
I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but my upbringing and faith in God has brought me to where I am, and
active faith.
meeting people, the connections.
No doubt.
This person, knowing you, being here. I wouldn't have thought I'm coming from Georgia to here to have an interview. Come on now, that's God.
Nothing but
Right?
God. Nothing but
Nothing
God.
but God. And I get a chance to pick up my son and hang out with him for a day.
No
right?
doubt.
Before my gigs. That's good. It's all good.
Wow. So, if you had to look back and reflect on your years of teaching public schools, pre-K, even the things you've done when you were going around teaching choir, and at high school level, what was those? How would you say that experience? What has that experience been for you?
Man, more blessings. I've had in my presence some incredible, and incredible talents. And when we're in public school, it's not like the Duke Ellingtons who audition.
Yeah.
These are kids who come raw, you know, with gifts or may not have some. So I've had in my presence Ari Lennox. She was in my choir. She was Courtney Salter back in the day.
Wow.
I've had Nick Hakim. I've had just incredible talent. Thomas White, who has done choreography for some of the greats.
Wow.
So I mean, and then when I travel overseas, I get these young people who are amazing too. So I mean, I've been blessed to have some incredible talents. I just saw one of my students. I had a gig for Cap Jazz, and I'm going to the lobby and I hear Kenny on keys. I'm like, hey, I know him,
Wow.
And who's singing but my student, Lauren Kayla. I'm like, how did she get this? She's got a gig.
Wow.
She's in an agency band. And I'm just like, what? My kids growing all up,
Yeah.
So yes, it's a beautiful thing when you see that your works or your impact have done something,
No doubt. Beautiful.
So I'm just grateful.
I love it.
I'm grateful.
No doubt. Now, although we have joys, there are also some challenges.
Yeah, man, they are.
What have those challenges been like as a teacher?
So I was never one who liked being in the teacher's lounge. I don't want to gossip about your kid and my kid. I don't want to hear that. I want to be able to find out for myself and discover for myself. So, in the challenges of being in a school in the District of Columbia, I'd have students who would have come in with ankle bracelets on or, my first years when Wilson was a tougher Wilson than it is now. I don't even think they have the same name. I think they changed their name. I don't know the name of the school now. They did the name change. But when I first started teaching there were some lights that were out in a section of the building where I was. And I had some students tell me that they would walk me to class to protect me.
Really?
Yeah. I had one student, I think he's a minister now, Cipriano. And he gave, I don't think I'm supposed to say it, but God bless you, Cipriano, for giving me a necklace with some mace in it. He said, I want to give you a
That's
gift.
love.
Yeah,
That's straight up
so
love.
those were my kids, and I was pregnant with Khalil when I was teaching there in the early days.
Yeah.
And they would walk me from my car, and tell me, nah, Ma, don't come in right now. There's some activities going on. My kids were just like, they looked out for me.
Yeah.
And these are kids to this day, who still will call me or I'll call them and check up on them. And so that's a beautiful thing. So, it was there were some fights that broke out that I didn't have to interact. I had a student who brought a knife to school to try to do something. And I didn't have to engage in any of those things because they protected me. God protected me. So I had a student who came into my classroom after hours because he didn't get a favorable grade, and he was on a sporting team, and he was trying to persuade me to give him the better grade, big dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's take a walk. And I'm using a little psychology. Let's take a walk to the office, and so I can change that grade for you right now. That was my way of getting out of that. Say, oh, yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So I've primarily taught elementary school. So
my hood instincts kind of, you could see how
I
to
got
protect
kids
yourself.
cussing me out. They love me. They love me, but they cussing me out.
I had a cuss jar in my classroom. And
cuss jar?
A cuss jar. So every cuss word you say was $1.
Wow.
And they didn't want to spend their $1.
Yeah.
So I had one person drop to 20, and one day was like,
he already knew. He already.
So So that jar was for them and for me.
Beautiful.
Because they knew. I was like, okay, tell your mama.
Yeah.
I said such and such. It was a different time in the early days.
Yeah, and you done some great things. I think I've heard some things with the choir. You was a choir director.
I was a choir director.
Yeah. Now, did you create the arrangements?
Yeah, it was so beautiful, right?
How would you come up with all that?
It's like being in a studio.
Were y'all on the news or something like that?
We've done some things back, but I don't know. It was sometimes on the spot.
Really?
I did the arrangement for our school's anthem.
Oh, wow.
And so that was beautiful. The one that they still sing today, so that was pretty cool. But no, it was just on the spot. If I could tell the voicings, then I could You sit over here, you hold this. Sit over here, you hold that, and don't lose it. Because I didn't record a lot of stuff back in the day, which I wish I did.
Now, was your choir, was that a pull-out program?
No, I'd never liked that. Like in the morning, they started it in the beginning where I had to come in the mornings. But coming from Fort Washington, Maryland to Northwest D.C. is an hour and a half commute on a good day.
Yeah.
And I was a mom, so there's no way I wanted to be able to be there for my kids. And so when I got in touch with Dr. D and Mr. Terrison at the time, they were like, no, we're going to put it as part of the program in the school. So I was fortunate for my entire time of teaching to have choir during the day.
Yeah. Did they audition?
For my advanced choir down the road. In the beginning, I had 6 students in my choir, and then it went to 160.
Woo!
Yeah, I had 6 kids in that pull-out program, and it was a building program. It grew.
Now I remember, I can, as you were saying, contemplating. Okay, it's time for me to leave.
Yeah,
get out of
you
here.
knew.
And I was like saying, Lord, won't you? you retire. I said, but you made a decision.
So let me tell you how that happened.
Okay.
So my mom passed, and then my dad passed, and there was nothing that held me in Fort Washington. Like my dad, and my mom lived 6 minutes away from my house. I was restless, and I had 5 years before retirement. 5.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, somebody would say, okay, the whys, had my parents lived, I would have still been there teaching. I would have retired. But when you wrestle with decisions to what's best for you, then I had to go.
Yeah.
It was time. I didn't have the autonomy in my classroom because Kenny was no longer there. It was a different
energy.
Administration, different energy, different rules. The system was changing.
Yeah. Were you afraid? Was it scary?
Extremely. Yeah. Because
that faith
to
had
go
to
into
kick
that
in again,
unknown, you lose your insurance.
Yeah.
You lose those benefits.
Yeah. Wow.
You lose that check that comes regularly.
Yeah.
And then you have to rely on hustling again, like what you did when you were in your 20s.
Yeah.
I'm not in my 20s anymore.
There were years I took a year off.
Yeah.
And I realized I lost my hustle.
Yeah. So right now, I had to regain it.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But that faith is what.
And the beauty of it all, while I was teaching in high school, I had some wonderful administrators who allowed me to still tour. So I would take my leave of absence, sometimes with pay, sometimes without pay. And without pay, it compensated because I was getting the money from wherever I was traveling.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But
you worked it out.
I worked it out.
What is powerful music for powerful minds?
Words are powerful. Speak wisely. It is.
It's words.
Words are powerful. Speak wisely is my slogan.
Okay.
But powerful music for powerful minds. It's an organization that I started at Wilson, actually. And the first guest that I had was Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown?
Chuck Brown was at my audience as on stage. Chuck Brown, Sugar Bear. Who else did I have on that show? Silver Logan Sharp. And Allison Seymour was my MC.
Wow.
Powerful. And I'm having a brain fart because I'm thinking about what that was. I started out because I have a really interesting kind of niche for lyrical content. And I had a lot of students back in the day who were listening to songs and the content was not positive. And you said, and I just had to think, positive music for positive minds, because when you said it, I'm like, that's not the name of my company. Positive music for positive minds. I was like, and so I'm like, I have a brain for it. Let me just as a word to the audience. So I flew in from Atlanta. I had 2 hours of sleep, and I had a photo shoot at Roy Cox, and then I had a rehearsal, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
So my apologies for
that's all good.
for not being as chipper. Positive music for positive minds. I got to know my own company.
Yeah.
But words are powerful. Speak wisely. And I always say that words are powerful and they have to use their words in a positive light. So my students were listening to content, whether it was music or arts or TV. And I would always preface by saying, do you believe that the music that you're listening to is positive and that it impacts who you are? And they were like, yeah, it is. And so we would analyze the lyrical content. And there was so much content that was degrading women, calling us all out our names. And I was hurting to listen to that content because I would, in all fairness, let them listen to it and play it so that we could truly analyze it. But then I realized I was older. And as I'm older, what impact could I have? I had to teach. I had to, and that's why I said when I left, that autonomy of teaching was tying my hands a little bit, where I couldn't say certain things. I couldn't tell them, pull your pants up. I couldn't tell the women, I could see all your, I couldn't be that mother that I was back in the day, because my words that I would choose were body shaming, or they would have a way to flip it where I was coming out in a way that it wasn't mothering or mentoring, but it was attacking. And I'm like, no, my intention was not to do that. My intention was really to try to show you that I want you to come in a different way. You know, if you're at the beach, but then you can't. So.
And is that part of this social emotional learning stuff?
And I could dig some of it, and then some of it I couldn't. It's like when prayer was taken out of the schools, I was there for all of that because I was at a Catholic school, you know, when I was growing up. So I understood the beauty and the strength in having people to mentor you and to give you guidance. And then when our power was taken away, where prayer was taken out of school, and I couldn't have, when I first started teaching, we had a lunchtime, prayer group. We couldn't do that anymore. We had a girls group where we could talk about fashion and pop. Couldn't do that anymore because we had to include everyone. So many things were changing that I didn't think I was up for the challenge for change in that respect. I'm all for inclusivity. I'm all for rights. But then when my rights were taken away and my power as an educator and mentor and adult were taken away, and maybe I'm saying too much, but I'm saying my truth.
No, that's true.
I developed
it's
my
almost
own.
like they went from one extreme to the next.
I developed my own program.
Beautiful.
And that's where Positive Music for Positive Minds came in. So I was able to, and I have students from all walks of life. I have trans, I have straight, I have everybody. But I'm able to still mentor and still give guidance from a Christian mothering perspective, where I'm able to give my
I went to Catholic school too, up to 8th grade. And I remember we used to pray in school.
Day by day, it was on my CD because of that.
It was they were firm. And now you have to watch how you say it and all this, and it's really hurting our kids.
I can't.
You know,
because
it's funny because the kids can say they can say whatever
they want to. So in my space, in my classroom, I mentioned earlier I didn't like going to the teacher zone. That was my safe zone. Okay. So the students knew because I was in. They were really strategic in putting me in this wonderful building, and I was in no man's land. So they knew when they came into my space, they were in my world. I didn't care what was happening out there unless it affected them in a negative way, but they were in my space. So we had that safety to just be us.
Gotcha.
And the beauty of my classroom, blacks, whites, Asians, Hispanics, everybody.
Beautiful.
Everybody was in that room, and we had to work together. Musically, we had to work together socially, and lots of tears, lots of laughter, and so that was a beautiful place.
Now, is that program still going on? And I know you moved, and now you're living in...
I'm in Georgia, and it's based in Smyrna, Georgia. I do it a little differently. I've done some online things because of COVID, but I'd love to have it still. It's
not?
online, positivemusicpm.org.
You might well kick the program off over there.
Yeah, and so, but I've got to immerse myself.
Acclimated.
I got to get acclimated to the space.
Yeah, but that's great concept.
Yes, and so hopefully...
I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
And the beautiful.
Cliff Hunt from Capital Jazz allowed me to do it on the Capital Jazz Cruise, so I did it for adults. So there's no age limit for this. Yeah.
Yeah, keep it going. Yeah, it's beautiful. You've also... You said you traveled to Europe as a clinician?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm scheduled to go there July 2nd. I'm traveling,
Okay,
Lord
so
willing.
you teach you went from the classroom, now you teaching the world.
And I was doing that while I was teaching.
Wow. Okay. And you're a vocal coach.
Yeah.
So you can teach somebody like me late in the game.
Come on. I have students. Interestingly enough, from 6, and my oldest student, I don't even tell her age, but in her 70s. So yeah,
Wow.
I teach all.
So
ages.
people can learn how to sing.
I believe.
At any age.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a professional thing, but there's some techniques to singing that we do that
helps.
we enhance. I mean, I love working. I'll give a shout out to one of my students from the DMV, Ruby, and I love working with her because she's utilizing the skills for choir.
Okay.
So, whatever the stage.
Her name
is.
Ruby?
Ruby Freeman.
How
Hey,
you,
Ruby.
yeah,
Hey,
Ruby Freeman. Give her some love.
Yeah, and I have students. I had Lorna Valson in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
yeah, so COVID has done some horrible things, but it also has opened up our world for being able to reach out to the masses and connect. So, I had yours Studley in Austria, I mean, all over.
Wow. Beautiful. You doing it. Let's talk about you as a performing artist. You're one of my favorite singers. When I do a little single, I might call you and say, "I need."
Hey,
yeah,
right. What's the jam we got?
Yeah, we did the with Dick Smith. We just did.
We did that. We did What's Going On.
What's
but
Going
for
On?
yours, Pass the Bubbly.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. Was that Pop the Bubbly?
Pop the Bubbly.
Pop
See, we got
the Bubbly. Yeah.
Pop the Bubbly.
Yeah.
See?
Yep.
Pop the Bubbly. A little element.
Yeah, got a little
groove to it.
Yeah. But you're one of my favorite singers because you can go different places and that sort of thing. But
I said, pass the bubbly. What am I thinking about? What time is it? It's too
all
early.
now you mentioned we got to talk about collaboration.
Yes.
As a performer, and what is collaboration? Who's in the band?
Okay,
And what's the significance in your career?
I'll tell you how I met collaboration. Hanging out with my sister Robin, going to Moore's Love and Peace, and I think they were off of Rhode Island Avenue at the time. And Collaboration was performing, I don't know if it was a Friday or Saturday, but I don't think I was of age to go into the club. And my sister was like, we're going to go hang out. This is my big sister. She's 7 years older. And we got in the club, and that's how I met Aaron Graves, who's he was living here. He was playing Kenny Dickerson, Tracy Cutler, and my ex, Yusef Chisholm, who's my son's dad.
Yep.
And I loved the band. And of course, I married one of the members and had a son by one of the members.
And developed lifelong friendships.
They're my brothers.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the keyboardists have changed throughout the years, but right now they're working with Tony Walker.
Okay.
And
that's a bad boy.
and these guys are hanging with me at Blues Alley this weekend, Lord willing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And Stan Cooper's hanging out too.
I call them smooth fingers.
Smooth. Yeah.
Man.
The collaboration, I've known them over 30 years.
Okay.
And the godfathers to my son, dad to my son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And Kenny Dickerson, man, just a beautiful brother.
Yeah, he's connected me for my work.
Yeah.
It's all family. We know it. We know each other's family.
He's one of those brothers that some people are takers.
No.
He's a giver.
All the time.
Yes. And we love you, kid.
Unselfishly. Unselfishly.
That spirit. It's good to know people like that.
Yeah, Uncle T. I've had Uncle T on all of my CDs except this most recent one I'm working on. Hopefully he'll be on it too. But these are guys I trust, and I could, I wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah.
So how you asked where my start was. It started with collaboration.
Wow, beautiful. And did y'all play at the Coleman Station line?
Yes,
Back
we
in the day?
did. But I think they started out as an instrumental band. And I don't know if too many people were so happy in the beginning stages of having a vocalist on the stage, but they grew to love me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you also had an ensemble, and I performed Laurie and Friends.
Yeah, Laurie Williams and Friends. Yeah.
Laurie Williams and Friends. I'm saying Laurie Williams and Friends.
It's had different names.
Yeah. And
You played with me.
Yeah, I played with you, and do that. Are you able to do that in Georgia now?
Yeah, but I don't call it that. I just go under Laurie Williams now.
Say again?
I use my name, Laurie Williams. But
Cool.
I have my friends from all over.
Gotcha.
It's so funny because I have a show that's coming up in Austria, and they titled it Lori Williams and Friends as the band. I was like, wow, that's so cool. Mm-hmm.
And who are some of the friends that you perform with?
Oh
So
my
just
gosh.
give some love out, shout out. No, Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson, William Knowles.
Yep.
I've worked with Vince Evans.
Vince
I'm trying to think
Evans.
of all the keyboardists. I've worked with so many incredible keyboardists, and I don't want to miss any names. But of course, working with you and with Tracy Cutler. My gosh, the list goes on. I have to get my phone to see. But I've been really blessed. James Genus has worked with me. Benji Parecki.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of people.
And it, it's wild, like going to another place, leaving your hometown with all your connections, and now you got to go.
I'm in Georgia now, so with Georgia, to be welcomed by that community is a beautiful thing. So down there, you have like Trey Gilbert on bass, and you have Jay Fly on drums, and my gosh, you have who's I was saying Troy Soul Edler, but he's a singer from here. But you have Rodney Edge, who's worked with Anita Baker. He's on keys. Oh my gosh, so many incredible.
Are you near
people.
Atlanta?
I'm near, like 20 minutes from Atlanta.
So you know Russell Gunn?
Oh,
You got him?
Russell Gunn, I am affiliated with Russell Gunn. I would hope that he would know me. Please know me, Russell Gunn.
Yeah.
But I've seen him at 10 ATL and some other places.
Kebby Williams. You know Kebby?
I know all. They're all. This is interesting. Social
Kebby
media.
went to Howard, so he's
social
a
media.
captain.
We all know everybody, but
Yeah.
to know, my circle has been with some beautiful people down there who welcomed me. So
And one more, Zach Grady.
I don't know.
Zach Grady is a tenor player. He stayed here. He's in Atlanta, but he played with Michael Thomas.
Okay.
He plays in Michael Thomas' band.
Call me
Zach Warm Daddy Grady.
if you need a vocalist, call a sister.
Yeah,
It's been about networking. So I've been hitting a lot of the clubs down there networking that way.
He's one of them jazz like with big sound,
what's
tenor
up.
sound. Just you love
Wow.
it. So just throwing some names
Yeah.
I know.
The community is really beautiful. Yeah.
All right. Now, your music. You're playing at Blues Alley this weekend, right? Okay. Now, how would you describe your music? Your music. I know you play. You can go different places, but how would you describe it? What are they going to get?
My fourth CD probably is the best description. It's out of the box because I never wanted to be labeled this or that. When I travel to Europe, I typically do a lot of straight ahead because that's what it calls for, that particular genre. But I love avant-garde, contemporary. I love it all. I love R&B, soul.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a mix of it all.
Yeah. Beautiful. And you also, I don't want to. You also talk about you done some stage acting, actress, and that kind of thing.
Thanks to William Knowles. So how I got into that, William said, he calls he's like, hey mommy, you got this, hey mommy, we got this show coming up. You think you want to try it?
Yeah.
And at the time I was, in between jobs. I'm like, yeah, I think I can do that. You might hear my stomach grumbling. Sorry, camera.
It's all good.
But I did the show and the bug hit, thanks to Tom Jones, who's out of Atlanta. And I've done so many musicals at Metro Stage. Thank you, Carolyn Griffin and Chris Banks, the crew. And really thanks to Roz White. Let me tell you why. Roz,
my girl from Howard, ain't you? Roz.
So Roz is an accomplished actress. And I had no knowledge whatsoever of that scene. She and Anthony Mano. Did Mano go to Howard too?
Anthony went there.
So they were like my tutors on stage. I got in because I could sing, and they wanted a particular stylistic approach for the music. But stage direction, downstage, upstage, and left, and you learned all of that kind of stuff, and how to perform without glasses. I didn't wear contacts, so that I was performing blind, which for me was a good thing because I was already nervous about lines and how the direction, so I could just kind of be in my head a little bit and connect to the people on stage. So I got nominated for Helen Hayes for one of those shows.
Wow,
that's pretty crazy, right? Thank you, Roz. So I owe all of that instruction and thank you to Tom for entrusting me and for William for believing that I could do it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, well, we coming down to this. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I can go get some food from a child like you.
We almost there.
No, it's much. I'm just grateful.
You've also done, I want to share this because you've also performed at some assisted living places for the elderly.
Yeah.
And how important was that kind of service to our
Yeah,
senior citizens?
the group that's here is, let's see, what do they call themselves? It's the Washington, what was their acronym? There's a,
I forget.
I really forgot the name
I've
of
done
it.
it. I think I've done a couple. Yeah.
They were so impactful.
Yeah.
God forgive me, and please forgive me for forgetting the name, and it's probably going to come when I leave here. But they were so instrumental in allowing me to do their seniors program, enriching seniors program. I'm really hurt that I can't remember the name because they were such a beautiful program and they still are around. But having worked with them, I have a thing for seniors.
Yeah.
And just like going to Westminster Presbyterian, that's a built-in audience of people who just love and appreciate the music.
No doubt. Yeah.
So
and you put a smile on their face.
and it's a way of giving back to the community.
doubt.
So I totally, and my brain is trying to remember what the name
Don't
is.
worry, if you remember, just tell me. I'll put it
Yeah,
on the
man,
screen.
something because they were so helpful, and I love working with. Anytime I can do something and give back to the seniors, I love doing that.
Beautiful. All right. You are an independent artist, would you say?
I am.
Okay. Now, did you become an independent artist out of necessity, or that's a rhetorical question? But
I would have loved to have been signed by Blue Note. Hint to Blue Note, signed Lori Williams.
Yeah.
You know? That's always been a dream. If I could say that that's something this is really grumbling, sorry. If I could say that I aspired to have any particular label, it was any label under Blue Note that I wanted to be a part of. So, yes, it's of necessity. It's of owning your own material.
Yeah.
It's of there's a lot that's going on right now.
The
legalities of it all.
Now, I don't know if anyone told you, but you're like your website, the pictures.
Thank you.
It's all perfect. I mean, you've
Quiet as it's kept.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have like the huge team that people would imagine. So that's thanks to Hampton
you have
University.
a huge imagination. I
Yeah,
tell you,
I
'cause
think
you really hooked it up.
I try to pay attention to what other people are doing and stay relevant. So like with Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, what's any social media platform that you can get be a part of, you have to find yourself on it daily and interact, engage with the audience, and it's all numbers.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it.
So thank you. But but
Are there some challenges?
oh my gosh, because you can't do everything at once, and money is what helps you to propel to get to the next level. So you have to find yourself working and working and working. But I love nothing more than doing the music.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you also, in terms of leading a band, what are some of the challenges of leading a band?
I would say in the United States, because I don't get it much when I'm overseas. Because when I'm overseas, I'm labeled exotic.
Good.
It's like, and I take it. You know what I mean? But then when they get to know me, it's like, okay, I'm their sister. But coming into an audience of people who may have never seen a black woman up close and personal perform has its advantages. Here in the United States, I'm pushing to be heard and be seen. That's why I choose to have people around me who I trust and because I don't need to have that kind of friction on the job because in society it's enough already. We're the minority of it all. So that would be a disadvantage because I think, and I'll give you an example. I did this gig at a festival, and I won't name the festival. Grateful for the festivals. Please call me for the festivals. But they do not see you unless you are like big name. So you have to really, and that's from engineers to sound people to, you have to really be someone. Like Keiko Matsui, I think, gets a lot of recognition because she's Keiko Matsui. I would say Mesa would be a name that's a big name because she's Mesa. Lori Williams is Lori Williams. And
big name.
I love it. Speak it. But everybody doesn't know me. And so if you're not well known, that could have its challenges. So I like the idea of trying to make sure that I'm respectful at all times, and I demand it. You have to demand it. And for me, I'm trying to watch my words carefully so that I don't come off as being this aggressive or diva. And I have
all
my
good.
desires and my needs, and I want them to be met. And I think that's with anything. If you want it to be professionally accepted, yeah. But I don't want to come off as being this lofty. Oh, get me my.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Mirror on the wall.
Let me not advertise. Right. I'm trying, So yeah. So you want to ask
good.
for your writer, and my writers are very minimalistic. So I'm not asking for popping the bubbly. I want to make sure.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. But there's some people, like when I've traveled to Russia and Ukraine, the rooms were spread, and I didn't even ask for it. Man, the welcome was. It's mind-boggling. The fruit that seems like it's like, okay, God put this here, right here. He put that fruit there, and he put the wine bottles, and he put the bread and the cheese, and I'm like, what in the world? Yeah. Where your name is up on the side of the building, and Metro stops, and I'm like, man.
Yeah, something.
So I get used to that.
Yeah.
Which is why my tour lasts so long. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about just the names of your recordings. You have 6 recordings out and a single.
And a single, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your you know them in order?
Healing Within. Eclipse of the Soul. Behind the Smiles. Out of the Box. Full Circle. A New Book. And my single, Too Late. It's My Time.
I love that title.
Thank you.
Too Late. It's My Time.
Man, I can't wait for you to see the video.
Is that what you say Diane Reeves is going to be?
Yes. So Elise Perry is producing it, and we went to Hampton together, and such a beautiful thing. She's done videos for Kindred, the Family Soul.
Oh, wow.
And Chuck Brown, and she's
beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, for all these CDs, do you also write music?
I do.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so copywriting and the whole bit, and registering with BMI.
Yeah. And I would be remiss as a songstress. How important are the lyrics to you? Like, cause I'm an instrumentalist. I play saxophone. Sometimes I don't even hear the lyrics.
I'm so sorry for you. Because for me, that's how I tell the story.
Yeah.
And I have to have the lyrics.
Yeah. And I want to get into the mind of a vocalist.
So let me tell you, the lyric, I would say, so sorry to the instrumentalists, that we connect more with the audience because we're able to convey what that message is, what they've gone through, what they've experienced, what they may be going through, what they're hopeful for, aspire to be. We put it all out in the lyric. And if you tell the story right, then it could really go over well.
Wow. And they say some of the musicians that can convey a melody are the people that know the lyrics
they know
and actually sing.
They're singing it, and you can feel it through what they're saying. Yep.
Yeah. I get the spirit of it now.
No, see, for you, it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah,
so,
I know. But I want to...
Because you can play it, what
But I
want to...
It's like I want to know, how does a drummer experience it? How does a bass player open it? So,
but
how does a vocalist...
I think it's feeding off of the musicians as well.
Yeah. So, I need to deal with that.
And be in the moment. Maybe check out the lyrics. Because I dare not try to sing songs that are out of my purview. Like gotcha. If I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. And there's some songs I've written that I don't sing anymore because I'm over it.
Gotcha.
That experience is done. I told the story.
Got you.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, we want to talk about some of your honors and awards.
Oh, wow.
2007, the Superintendent's Arts
Teacher of the Year.
Mm-hmm. And 2010, the Vincent E. Reed Teacher of the Year.
Wow.
You winning. See? You winning. In 2013, you received a letter from the then Vice President Joe Biden.
Our president, Uncle Joe.
For the Frederick Douglass statue dedication ceremony at the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah, Weldon Hill, thank you so much for accompanying me on that. And I was asked by the Thelonious Monk Institute to perform, and I did "Oh Freedom," and that's on YouTube it's on CNN or C-SPAN.
Yeah,
C-SPAN. That's where it is.
And so let me just share, and you got one more. You received a Senate citation.
Tony Muse.
The Maryland General Assembly on behalf of Maryland State.
Yeah.
Of Anthony Muse. Mm-hmm. For
his wife is Pat Lawson Muse.
Okay.
From Channel 4.
Okay. Mm-hmm. For your contributions and commitment to the arts as a jazz vocalist, instructor, and educator.
Nothing but God.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, this is just me giving you this. As you're chasing it, as I get older, sometimes I look back. I know sometimes they say don't look back. You might turn to a pillar of stone. But I look back and you have a legacy that you've.
Thank you.
Even with the children.
Thank you.
And to me, that's the stuff that really is what.
Those are my awards.
Those are my
that's beautiful. Yeah. And it's great for my kids to see too.
Yeah, that's going to live beyond you. And that's why I say at this point in my life, I do things to not just to be. I mean, yeah, we all want to be known. We all want to get to this next level. But I really, because sometimes we so busy looking forward. We don't know. We forget some of the stuff.
No, you can't forget.
Yeah, and the people you might have touched and the legacy that you actually.
Yeah, I was really honored. You know, there are moments when, and we all have our moments of like the highs and the lows. There's a student of mine, Alicia Oluhara, who did one of these projects, and she uploaded it on YouTube, and it's a close-up of Lori Williams, and it's a reflection of my students who, from when I was at Wilson, and a former teacher, co-worker of my mom's, is in there. Sharon Bell Mathis, who's an accomplished writer and author. So I mean, I was able to see that. So I go back, and I look back at those wonderful words that are being shared, and it warms my heart.
Beautiful. So like I say, get your roses now.
Yeah.
But leave some behind.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Final questions. What is it like being a mom?
Oh, it's the best. You know, every day is not a great day, but God has entrusted me to have these beautiful gifts in my life and watch them grow. And I'm so blessed to have two beautiful, talented, intelligent, loving. My son has the warmest, kindest hearted children. My daughter is such a great person, and you know, she feels and cares for people so much, and she's got a great aspiration for her future, and I'm sure he's going to be something great and incredible. So watch out, world, for them.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful thing to watch what was once in your womb stand out and stand on their own, and so it's a beautiful thing. And then I have kids who are not my own too, who, you know, my 160 plus kids who call me mom for those over 26 plus years of teaching.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And how do you and did you be able to balance being a professional, educator, performer, and how did you balance all this stuff?
Well, my mom and my dad were alive in the early years, and so they were the balance for me.
Okay.
My son's father is the balance for him, and his big sister Lauren. So
beautiful.
I wouldn't have been able to travel to all those places. And I had support from, my administration and my students. I would always say to my kids, my students when I was in high school, I'm heading this place. And they were so excited for me. And thank God for technology, because I took them on the gigs with me. So I would do WhatsApp or I would do FaceTime. Beautiful. Or,
Wow. And what's next for Lori Williams?
Well, this weekend, Lord willing, Blues Alley. I have 2 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday. That's the 25th and 26th of June. And then, Lord willing, 3 weeks in Europe. I have a tour that's Austria, Germany, Slovakia, Slovenia, Czech Republic.
Look at you.
And hopefully some recording when I'm over there.
Okay.
And then when I come back, I have some shows that are scheduled for Atlanta, North Carolina, Middle C. Oh my gosh, where am I supposed to be going? Florida for the Gulf Coast Summer Jazz Festival.
Okay.
That's oh my gosh, and then more and more and more. And the single is coming out. Yeah. It's already out,
and the
video is supposed to be coming out, and hopefully a CD will come out. And I'm working with Big Dog Chris Davis out of Connecticut, and some other great musicians in the Atlanta area, and my homeboys here. Yeah.
All right. Last question, and you can look in this camera and tell the people how they can contact you if they want to learn what you're doing. More about you and that sort of thing.
Hit up Tony. No, actually, LoriJazz.com. That's LORIJAZZ.com. I'm on every form of social media you can imagine. Just look up for Lori Williams and you'll find me there. And you heard the stomach grumbling, so it's time to get some food. But I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you all so much for checking it out. And hopefully I did a good job.
Beautiful. You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Anyway, I want to really thank you for I knew you was coming to town.
I was like,
I said, let me call Lori. I just, because you know.
I'm on like sleep mode. I'm still thinking about that group in the organization in the back of my mind. I'm like, it's the Washington area. Oh man, I can't.
If you figure it out, just send it to me.
I
edited it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I want to thank you for coming and to a conversation in jazz. I knew I had to get you on here. So
you had some incredible people on, so I'm honored to be here.
Yeah,
I saw Alan's, man. Yeah.
And I get to know people who I've known for years.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff, like wow.
Yeah, we've done some stuff, right?
I feel like I need to.
You need somebody to do you. Have you had one for you?
That's coming up soon.
Yeah, you need one for you. Yeah.
Everybody says that, but that's coming up. Yeah,
right.
But
Philly.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And all the best to you and everything, and to your kids.
Yeah, keep us in your prayers always.
Yes, indeed. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, there it is. The wonderful, the lovely Miss Lori Williams, right here on A Conversation in Jazz. And we'll see you on the next one.
It amazes me, the imperfections seem to suddenly